Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Hope you enjoy what you're about to see, and if you're new to my content and like what you see, I hope you'll give me a subscription and hit that notification bell that's right down here below so that you'll see my upcoming content. I'm in Alley Pond Park here in Queens, New York City, and it's well and truly the end of autumn. There's not a lot of color around, and what there is mostly contrasting against a lot of brown. I guess brown is a color, but you know what I'm saying. So I think I found a composition that's going to work here, and hopefully I'll find at least one more. But while I'm at it, I want to demonstrate and answer a question that I got from one of my subscribers not long ago. So here we go. So I have a composition here that's going to basically use two trees, and they're covered in ivy, and there's a lot of foliage on the ground around that, which I will try to enhance a little bit in Lightroom and Photoshop. But the question that a viewer asked recently had to do with what I used to attach my camera to the tripod. And this is where I want to show you one of what to me is probably my favorite accessory for the camera, and that is an L bracket. Basically, what an L bracket does is it allows you to mount the camera vertically directly over the tripod, directly over the center of gravity of the tripod in either a vertical or horizontal position. Let me show you what I have here mounted on a 5D Mark IV. This is a Kirk L bracket. I mean, many companies make this, and I'm certainly not doing a plug for Kirk or Sunway Photo or any other camera that manufacturer that makes it. But I want to point out a couple of really important things about L brackets. I recommend if you get an L bracket that you get one that's fitted specifically for your camera. In other words, this is designed to fit on the 5D Mark IV. If you shoot a Nikon D850 or something, you'll want to get an L bracket that's fitted for that. And the reason why that's important is that you want to make sure that you're not blocking any ports or the battery cover or the any other slots and stuff that you want to be able to access, whether you have the camera in either a vertical or horizontal position. As you can see on the 5D Mark IV here, the bracket does not block the battery cover, so if I want to change, if I need to change the battery, bada bing, and I can do that with no problem. And the same goes for any side ports. In fact, the camera that I'm shooting on right now, the R6, also has an L bracket, which I mounted it on its tripod. So how do you mount an L bracket? Well, you'll see that the bracket has grooves on it. This is Arca Swiss compatible, so if you have an Arca Swiss compatible ball head, then it's very easy, and you can mount it, as I said, in either direction. If you don't have an Arca Swiss ball head and you want to shoot in a vertical position, you would have to mount it vertically, like horizontally, like so. Swing the ball head around to the slot like so, and then turn it around like that. That's not very stable. As you see, the tripod is a bit off center. And if you want to do something like a panorama, because the center is not going to be on plane, if you swing the tripod around, or swing the ball head around, in the course of shooting your panorama, it's kind of off plane, and you're going to get a set of images that don't stitch very well. But instead, if you want to shoot vertically with the L bracket, all you have to do is mount it like so. And as you can see, the camera is set now directly over the ball head, directly over the center of gravity, and it's very stable. And if I want to shoot a panorama, it would be very easy to just swing the camera vertically like so, which of course I have the ball head level. And you'll have a situation where the camera or the images stitch very well together. Okay, so I've set my camera up. As you can see, I have set it up vertically to get these two trees. My settings right now are f11 at 0.3 of a second. I've got a circular polarizer mounted on my 24-70 lens. So, in fact, what's important here is that I've pointed the camera down because there's a very hot blue sky right above the field of view, and I don't really want to have any highlights in the image that are going to be very distracting once I work on it. So, I've got my 2-second timer on. So let's trigger this exposure. And I think that's going to work out. I'm going to look around and try and find a few more compositions. One of the things I like is that because we had 2 days of rain, everything is kind of wet still. So before everything dries out, I want to try and capture some wet foliage because the moisture or the water really kind of brings out the color as well as backlighting. So if I can find some nice golden or red backlit wet foliage, that'd be awesome. So I found my last major composition for today. I might, if I have the chance to shoot a macro or something, I might find that and post it at the end of this video. But basically what I have here is a beech tree that's, roughly kind of a stripling or a sapling, as you say almost. Behind this tree, which appears to be dead. It's not dead, but it appears it's lost all its leaves. But what I really like is when the sun comes out, that this foliage is really well backlit. And it has a nice contrast against the tree trunk here. So that's going to be what I'm going to take. It's nice and simple. I've got my 24 to 70 on there at about 55 millimeters, I believe. I'll give you the exact settings momentarily. So let's get to the camera and we'll confirm this and take a shot. Okay, so the sun has come back out from around the trees, and we've got that foliage nicely backlit now. So, because it's kind of windy, and hopefully there's not too much wind in this video, so I apologize for it. But I've bumped my speed up to ISO 400, so I can get the shutter speed down to 1/13 of a second at f11, and adjust my polarizer here. This looks like a pretty promising composition. I might cut it down to a square. Check my focus. I'm going to zoom in. Yeah, I'd already set this focus, so it looks pretty good. So, here goes the shot. Actually, I didn't have the self-timer on there, so that's my error. I got it. I probably didn't really hurt it, but just to avoid any kind of vibration, you always want to have the self-timer on there for like 2 seconds or 10 seconds, whichever you prefer. Alright, so let's try this again. I might take a couple of other versions of this effect. I might even shoot a panorama because there are tree trunks that are nicely side lit, and I think a panel might not be a bad idea either. So let's switch around to a vertical. Again, showing the versatility of the L bracket. I take a series of shots moving from left to right. The only problem that this is going to have is the fact that there is a bit of breeze and foliage movement in the panorama, as you can see, something that's probably a little tricky to work. So this may work, it may not. Actually, what I really have to do is wait for the wind to die down as much as it possibly will. Because otherwise, stitching is going to be a real problem. In fact, because of the wind, I'm going to put on the cable release because I need to be able to time my triggers when the wind is down. Police chopper. I didn't do it. Whatever they're looking for, I didn't do it. Okay, so here we go. Wind is down a little bit, so I'm gonna have to move fast. First exposure. And of course, when you use a shutter release, you should not have the 2-second timer on. So this has really been a real adventure. All right, one more time. About 2/3 over. 2/3 over. Alright, so we've got 4 exposures. I'm going to play around with the exposure a little bit, and whatever the final result is, you're going to see it right now. Well, I think I'm going to make this a wrap for this video. I hope you enjoyed the tip I showed you about how to use an L bracket, and if you don't already have one, I strongly suggest you get one if you use a tripod a lot and if you like to shoot vertically a lot. I happen to do both of those. There are a lot of companies make them. Again, it's important that you get one that's fitted specifically for your camera, so you're not blocking any ports or the battery cover or things like that. If you like what you saw, you're new to this channel, I hope you subscribe and hit the notification bell that's right down below here so that you can you'll know as soon as my next video launches. I hope to be able to do some more fall photography, but it's getting pretty late in the season. As you've already seen, there's not a lot of color left, and winter photography in this area is going to be a little bit of a challenge because the last few years we don't get a lot of snow, and I might wind up doing some bird photography, which is not something I've done on this channel. It's something we haven't done much this year, and I do want to see how my R6 handles my 150-600 lens. So look for that in future videos. Again, thanks for coming, thanks for hanging on if you're still here, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Alright, I think that does it.